What's up, guys? This is Ghost That Sucks. On today's going to be a long video based on the other links I have, but hopefully I'll keep it as quick as possible and as short for you as possible. At least in this video, I might have to do a follow-up quite quickly. Xbox call for election day preparations after Trump's debate. Rhetoric stirs already heightened concerns. Yes, about the ballots and the mail-in ballots. And the lack thereof guarantee that they are legitimate. Like it says ABC News that this is what they are claiming. President Trump's infamous comments at the end of Tuesday's debate have heightened concerns over the potential for intimidation and even violence at the polls on election day. Experts on domestic extremists and voting rights told ABC they were a stark reminder for law enforcement to be prepared for voters to know their rights, and experts said some of these groups will be listening to his false claims of fraud, and you can put that into combination with his refusal to condemn white supremacists and civil unrest. I believe he actually has condemned them, like several occasions, both of those things, but you know, ABC News, and they're always telling the truth. It really is a very, very thinly veiled call for most militant supports to go to the polls, said Mary McCollum, a long-time national security officer for Georgetown University law professor. At the debate, the president refuses to condone white supremacy or discourage his supporters from engaging in civil unrest as electoral results come in, instead urging them to go into the polls and watch for disproven claims and widespread election fraud. Disproven claims, like we're about to show you that they are not disproven. This is beyond lies and just awful. I don't know how they can print this. When asked again on Wednesday if he would denounce the white supremacy, Trump claimed to the reporter, "I've already denounced any form of that." And like, yeah, he has. They asked him a couple times, we denounced them, and he's like, yeah, he doesn't agree with their actions, just because the phrasing wasn't in the best way for them. Like, maybe it's just a case of obviously saying that the disproving claims, maybe it's like it's Trump's phrasing which is the issue, but I'm not so sure, because I'm about to show you some of the articles. How voting by mail could cost Biden the election. This is from The Atlantic. Links in the doobly-doo down below. Whilst in person looks safer than expected, mail-in voting looks more dangerous, not because of the fraud, because the human rail and the partisan politics. So yeah, that goes on to say that pandemic people voting at home, but this site with millions of people voting for the first time this year by mail for the first time this year, experts expect more errors and more rejected ballots. In 2020 primaries, more than 550 mail-in ballots, mail-in and absentee ballots were disqualified. As much higher number than 4 years ago. The problem is equally certain in some swing states. More than 23,000 mail-in ballots were rejected in presidential primaries for Wisconsin, more than double Trump's margin of victory in the state in 2016. Deep blue districts have been the same problem. New York alone threw out more than 84,000 mail-in ballots in the primary season. So how can you claim this? This is your recent news, October 1st, which is today, the day recording. This is from September 1st. Yes, it's from yesterday. But like, we have the New York Times nearly 100,000 defective absentee ballots sent out to voters. Yeah, they had a print error, so they won't be counting. This leaves people scrambling and panicking to what they should be doing. This is again September 29th. This is 2 days ago. Nearly 100,000 New York voters received defective absentee ballots. Electoral Office acknowledges on Tuesday massive glitches that raised double about the city ability to handle a pandemic era presidential election with millions of mail-in ballots expected. Yeah, like of course, like it's guaranteed universal mail-in ballots. Of course, they're gonna have huge numbers. Like, do you know how many people live in the state? Each of these states. How they have a small print error, and it's like, what do people do? They're going to get the mail-in ballots and then vote again. So they have 100,000 people voting, but then they're like, will they trust at this time? Like Donald Trump said in one of his Trump tweets that was flagged by Twitter a while ago. Make sure that you go in and check that your vote has actually been counted. That's interesting that both the Atlantic and the New York Times are saying that there are proven errors, and the ABC News is like, oh no, these are false claims. You're clearly, like, these are happening right in front of our eyes. The proof is out there. You don't even have to look that hard. Like, I have a bunch of tweets. Mike Davis, dear DC Board of Electors, you mailed me absentee ballots to my home. Also, I never knew the former residents. I know she's very absent. She's been dead for 7 years since the good time voter. Yeah, like, what do you want to do? Like, you just scroll down. It's like there's loads and loads. Also have Richie Mukji. My official ballots arrived along with ballots for the 4 people who no longer live here, 3 of whom haven't lived here for over 6 years. Wow. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I don't have the same problem living in the UK, but I do have male people that haven't lived in our house for a while. When I lived in my flat, I got lots of male people that hadn't lived there. I tried to forward it on and just kept getting back returned to me. Luckily, it was mostly just junk mail, but this is concerning when it's to do with the American presidential election. I always try to do this, send it back. But if the insinuation is that this will lead to voter fraud, it would require being willing to commit multiple federal felony offences, which you'd likely get caught for considering ballots signatures are matched against voter registration. I'm not sure they are, because Pennsylvania, according to the Associated Press, Pennsylvania ballots cannot be discarded over signatures. Yeah, they've changed in the rules that if the signature doesn't match the one on the file, they won't just throw it out like they used to, like everywhere else does. They'll contact the initial voter to see if their vote was okay, which would be interesting. To wake up, get a phone call saying, "Hey, we got one of your mail-in votes, and it's not actually you. It's someone else has voted in your favour, or voted intending to be you." There's a tweet. I don't know who Lindsay is, but I received her ballot yesterday. Yeah, like, there's a lot of people getting a lot of ballots that you just search on Twitter and Facebook. Lots of people are posting it. It's a bit mad, but Tulsi Gabbard cites Project Veritas warns about ballot harvesting after Amara video. That's the clip. I'll have it in the doobly-doo. This is one of the links I could find of it. Where's the start of the tweet? You can see him like exchanging cash for the empty ballots. He says, "I'll fill it in for you." This is ridiculous. This is literally playing with fire. You don't go around changing the rules of something and then complain that because you changed the rules, it's broken, and then even if it's broken, you still stand to win, or you still stand to have a upper hand against the people that didn't want it to change, didn't agree with the change, were happy the way it was, and I don't know how you can expect them to let them win. Like, if there's any other thing, you can't let them win. But it goes to show that people don't trust the old news organisations, especially when there's so many of them contradicting each other. And they literally have the facts from us and news organisations. So like these are all just independent people. Like Mike Davis is something important. I don't really know these people that well, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Why are Democrats trying to change the rules for signatures? I believe in San Francisco they are also changing something. You have to have a witness. So you don't need to have a witness for your absentee ballots. Like, why are you changing that? The system is completely fine the way it is, but you're trying to change it. So this is absolute garbage news. And who really stands to benefit from this? Because I think it's quite obvious who stands to benefit from this. Like, we already know from my earlier videos that they have the red, I believe it's called the Red Mirage, where in all of their 4 examples of their war games, Trump refuses to let go of the presidency, apart from an all-out Biden win. Sorry, and it's like, yeah. So I think the majority of them claim that the Trump would win on election day, and then follow down onto following through absentee ballots. He would not win because they just get loads for Biden and Harris. Let's kind of find a link to the polls if I can for you. So here we have the polls for Trump's approval. Yeah, so approval is black and disapproval is red. You can see he started off with quite a 43, which isn't too bad, which is what he did when he won. But as you can see, he's now actually above it. He had a little spike and he sort of averaged mid 40, like around low 40s, which is pretty good. There's some spikes earlier, but and ever since July, he's been going up slowly, which is really good. Like people know that Trump can do. Trump can run the country. So I don't know why these people are trying to discredit the ballots. Trying to discredit. He's trying to play with wildfire. But I will link to the other video explaining the war games. But it's quite clear that the news media is preparing to on election day, or election day. There's not going to be an election day. It's going to be an election week or a couple of months until February, when Trump is officially sworn out of office. Possibly could be 2020. That's 2020 so until 2024 when he's actually sworn out. But it very much proves that they are already starting to lay the foundations still, and they have been laying the foundations to discredit the whole election. But I will I'll have the links down below, and enjoy the rest of your day. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. I have a Parlar, Parlar and Twitter, and if you share this word of mouth, if you can share the links, just like do your own research. So it's about just doing your own research, trying to find out what's actually happening. I will see you later. Goodbye.